Much love, family. Wholeness and balance. Jesse Tree here, about to break my dry fast, my 23-hour dry fast. Today would be day 117, except that I took a break for my son's birthday the other day. Uh, and I had a few people ask me some really good questions. Um, One wanted to ask, more for me to detail more about how it went for me, doing 6 hours, consuming liquids rather than, my 1 hour a day. I could say I'm a type of personality as an Aries that I'm basically all on or all off. So I basically consumed twice as much liquids as I normally do. And even though these are just juices and stuff, there's solid material in there. It's fresh pressed, but it's fine particulate. You know, so I definitely felt just more bogged down. I felt I had really bad digestion in the night, and I kept on having to go to the bathroom. This is part of the thing with breatharian lifestyle. It's an understanding everything, an understanding and overstanding. Actually, there's kind of a difference between these things. Um, I'll go into that another time. But I'll just go over it real quick. It's basically the tree of your triple burner and your mind, where you have your intuition, your root chakra. I'm wearing this tree. You have your heart chakra, and you have your mind. So understanding, understanding, overstanding. Um, and so I basically felt that in all of my tree. What you put in here, the Kundalini wants to fall upward, right? So when you eat, it grounds, it makes you ground, but it also is like keeping you in your root. Hard to get in your heart, hard to get into your mind. As readily. You have to do more work, more breath work, more what have you. Otherwise, it's more of a natural flowing process, and that's why fasting is so beneficial, and why people feel it mentally, physically, and otherwise. Is you're clearing this, which clears up your respiration as well as your cognition and your heart center being the singularity point for your toroidal field and your electromagnetic dynamo that is your mind. So we're energy beings, electrical beings primarily, and so consuming all this stuff just had me feeling bogged, had me feeling foggy, and, just not feeling as amazing as I do on the daily doing this 23-hour dry fast. So, that was instructive. Um, Other questions were, why do I do the hydrogen water when I'm doing fresh pressed juice, which is high in hydrogen? When I take my Purium shake, this is a dehydrated, it's not dehydrated, it's a special drying process that keeps all the raw enzymatic and nutrient density intact. But then when I go to rehydrate it, I want to use the best waters. I want as much hydrogen in my body as possible, because hydrogen is just essentially a really great antioxidant. And it's another thing about the breatharian path. You love life. I love life. I want to live a long time, so I'm going for longevity with everything I consume here. Another question was about harmless harvest. Someone was positing, or put into a friend's mind that these are not raw, that they're manipulating them because they all have this pink color, and that really to truly get the raw coconut water, you need a young Thai coconut. As a permaculturalist, I'm all about that. I would love to have this beautiful, raw coconut water coming out of a coconut, and not a plastic bottle from a company where you don't quite know the process. But I can tell you that from tasting and feeling it with my body, that I truly believe this is raw coconut water. I've had lots of raw Thai coconuts in my raw career of 12 years. That has been a mainstay along the journey. And I feel it's a very good water. It's one of the best waters you can consume for your digestion, respiration, cognition, electrolytes. People in the past, during times of war, have used coconut water, which is like plasma for the blood, and chlorophyll as an actual blood transfusion in times of war. So Being in the desert, it's hard for me to get, and it's expensive. This is pretty expensive, but it's more expensive for me to buy raw Thai coconuts, and I throw out all the meat because it's, you know, I mean, I'll give it to my family and they'll eat on it, but they can only take so much. They have other things they want to eat. You know, so so I feel safe with it. I feel good with it. When I take it, it seems good in my body, and it tastes a million times different than the cooked coconut waters, like Vita Coco or some of those. Which I was even down with those for a while. It's all about like getting the best quality you can, but realizing this gradation, of like one of those Vita Cocos is way better than drinking tap water, in my view. For instance, you know, and this is a higher level water. And if I was in the tropics, which one day I will be, because I feel a call to the tropics. You know, if I'm not full breatharian living purely off prana by that point, coconut water from a coconut on the daily is going to be definitely part of my practice. Another question was about chicory root and consuming raw chicory root or toasted chicory root, which I do sometimes. I'll put a little bit of dandy blend, which is dandelion root and chicory root and beetroot, that's roasted and makes like a coffee substitute. And this is still going to be purgative to the liver and kidneys. It's still going to have that beneficial action. They were talking about the carcinogenic effects of it. Yeah, I think it's there, but it's negligible. You know, everything that you put in your body is basically toxic. That's why your body's trying to pee and poo it out. As it's trying to get rid of the toxic waste material. Pee, granted, lots of friends in the community are into urine therapy, and it's definitely, it's basically Ormus ultrafiltrate, and I could see the potential benefit of that. But there's still sediment and stuff that comes through. It's still like once you reach the full breatharian state, the way I understand it, I mean, when I was with Ellie Tom and he hiked around in the desert with me for weeks, I didn't see him use the bathroom at all. Now he may have, and we actually take in, water from the air, and there's waters that get trapped in the body that when you dry fast, the combination of hydrogen trapped in fat with oxygen makes H2O. So it's kind of these things. I think a big part of it is, how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel joyful? Does it make you feel healthy? On those two tips, So everything else I take is, really the only things I don't consider to be essentially quasi-toxic are the super herbs, the superior class of herbs, reishi, astragalus, ginseng. There's a million others. I've started working with deer antler recently. I really like that because it's a sexual tonic, but it's basically a vitality tonic. Your cerebrospinal fluid, that's connected with this tree of your triple burner. That is part of the Kundalini energy. Is like your sexual fluid is also your cerebrospinal fluid, and when you're breathing and you're meditating and you're empty, this Kundalini, this fluid wants to rise upward. There's blood that wants to dump into your pituitary gland, I believe, and the sexual fluid or cerebrospinal fluid, whether you're a man or a woman, gets dumped into your pineal gland, and that's a natural enlightenment experience that we can all be having once a month, at least. A full-blown, like, basically orgasm for your brain, bliss state. So, that's the vibe, that's what we're going after here, and so joy is a big piece of it, what makes you joyful. And I love coconut water, I love watermelon juice, I love my perm, I love my tonic herbs and my kombucha. Someone asked me about kombucha, because it's got a little bit of alcohol. It's such a trace amount for the amount, it's less than 0.5%, or they would have to, put it in the alcoholic section, so it's very trace. and my body metabolizes all that very quickly. So, anyway, today, harmless harvest, watermelon juice, barium with hydrogen water. Gonna have my spring dragon tea with goji berries and white American ginseng from Purium, and some fulvic zeolite as usual. Get those trace ionic minerals to get the electroconductivity going. And I'm gonna have this reishi cordyceps chaga, or turkey tail and chaga root beer. So that's the Vibe family. I hope you got something from this. I'm gonna break fast now. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Sending one love, wholeness, and much peaceful, happy vibrations to you. All right, be well.